It's always like your birthday with a package from China, so let's go. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's awesome that you're tuning in, because in this video we are going to take a close look at the Retroad 5 Plus Pro. I already did a full review about this product, but there was one particular problem. The HDMI port didn't work. So I have this thing laying around a very long time in my storage compartment, and I thought, crap, I don't have any dispute left on AliExpress. I contacted the seller, and guess what? He did send me a replacement. I must say, I don't know if he's going to do this every single time, but he did. So very big kudos to Retroad, the official store. Very glad that it is, because now I can finally make the freaking review, or better said, like make the final part, because the HDMI function needs to be working now, or we're going to hope that it's going to be working. It would be kind of like hilarious if it still didn't work. Nevertheless, let's take a close look at this and let's unbox it and let's see how this thing will actually work. And a quick recap for the people who didn't see the main review. It's time to unwrap the bubble wrap with Wicked and just have a lot of fun. So let's do a quick unboxing and let's see what we're going to get inside the package. So this thing comes including everything that we're going to need, and that also includes 2 controllers. But like the bug already said, is that we do have the option to basically use original controllers. The form factor is something different. It's not like a rip-off from the original system that I've seen before. It's a completely different model. I personally really like it. We do get like this massive power button, reset button, and of course the eject. So the cover itself, I must say that it feels very sturdy, like very nice. Like it's a very thick plastic, and it is not like the cheap feel that I've seen before. At the back we're going to get ourselves like the sticker of Retroad and some information about it. For example, this model is the C51HD. The original region this thing has is NTSC. We're going to play it, so try just to see if we can play some PAL games on it. But I think it will have some limitations. But just check it out. We're going to have like the switch over here, the P and an N for region. The old school signal out, HDMI with the express ratio I detailed before, and here like the input for the DC, that is just a micro USB, so I'm guessing this thing will run on 5 volts. And at the front we're going to get ourselves the 2 controller ports that we can also use with the rigid controls that I really wanted to try. Alright, so let's see, we do have like all the cables, and surprisingly you're going to give us like nice quality HDMI cable. The controls are completely different, like custom design, so far I can see. An old school cable for the AV out, USB, and we're also going to get a power supply, and they sent me the right one for once. No like adapter needed, but let's see, we're just going to get ourselves a USB 5 volt thing. There's a 2000 milliamp, so nothing very fancy. We do also include the Super Retro games. This is a multi-game card that so far I know only works on the system from Retroad or the similar products. Nevertheless, this is a quite interesting one. We're going to take a close look at it because this thing is very awesome. We have like some 8-bit functionalities for a 60-bit system. And last but not least, I also need to include in this video the toilet paper manual. Yeah, there was nothing much for information here, just basic explanations, but yeah, it's absolutely garbage. Makes no sense. Let's talk about the controller, because oh boy, this is quite interesting. So we don't have the traditional Super NES knockoff controller anywhere. No, not at all. Normally we do have like this flat controller like the original one, but we do have like some shape in here, so it's more comfortable to play. The overall quality of the buttons, like Retroad, is more like this premium brand in my opinion. It's a little bit better than all the other cheap ones I've tested out, and it doesn't disappoint with the controller. We have like select start, rubberized button. We do have like the hollow button and the normal button over here. And I must say the touch itself, it feels just great. The D-pad itself feels kind of sturdy, doesn't have like a very long travel, but doesn't matter, it's not a bad thing. Then we have like the shoulder buttons, also these have a very nice touch. The controller, yeah, the plug itself looks slightly different plastic, looks in my opinion a little bit more cheap than the original one, but beside that it also comes with a very long cable, a very thick cable. So in general, first impression is very positive with the controller itself. But before we're going to test it, how are they fitting inside the machine? So let's put in the cartridge, and I must say like the entrance for the slot is absolutely amazing, and also the ejector works very well. You need to put some force in, but okay. So let's put a PAL game in it. A little bit more difficult to put in, but same story. Oof, fly. Oh yeah, that works fine. Let's try the Game Boy. Okay, it's the same thing. The Super Retro. Okay, it's kind of funny that this thing has more problem because the shell is a little bit thicker. Same story. Alright, so it's going to be a little bit difficult to get this out. Then we do have like the flash card. And then we have like the multi-game card. I must say every single one of them will fit in beside this Super Retro game, because you can see like it's completely different kind of shells, thicker material. It doesn't fit in perfectly, but again, like all the other ones, no problem whatsoever. Okay, so the first problem I noticed is when you're going to put it on the original 16:9 aspect ratio switch, we're going to have like the weirdest thing. So this is just a Japanese game, boots up without any problem. But you can see there is no image whatsoever. Sometimes it just freezes in a certain image. But the weird thing is, like when you're going to boot it up back into the 4:3 aspect ratio, you can switch it on the back. I've shown you before. Sometimes it does just give you an image and it works without any hassle or any hassle. It's more like still giving some problems. Let's see if it's going to be booting up now. So we do have like sometimes it like tries to get into different resolution. The other problem, I tried like different cables, different power supplies. You get like it flickers sometimes. Super annoying. Alright, so let's see if we can find any difference between the systems. Is there a newer version or an older version? That is something I want to double check. So the left one, don't forget Wicked, is the good one, and the right one is the broken one. But so far, and of course we have like broken the seal over here. And yeah, we can see that's exactly the same system. So let's plug it in and let's see if this bloody HDMI function finally works. Okay guys, so let's take a close look with my first monitor. It's an LG Full HD, just to see if we're going to get the same weird thing going on. We do have like a Japanese game in here. Let's set this to a different region. So it has been set to an American. There's no Japanese setting over here. 16:9, let's boot it up. Let's see if it actually works. I don't have like this weird glitching going on. Okay, we do get a boot up screen. Ah, seriously? Again? You can just hear that it is actually doing something. Let's switch to the other resolution. Okay, so I've been messing around with this bloody thing for a very long time now. But the other thing I wanted to do is remove my LG monitor this time. I'm going to get myself a Samsung just for the fun, just so it happens. Because I already like switched with the HDMI, the power supply and everything that came with it. Alright, so my old friend is back. Let's turn it back on and let's see what happens now. If we still have the same issues. There's the only thing I didn't like switch out this time. My previous video I just tried everything. But you can see like it still has the same freaking problems. Let's turn it back into the system. Let's boot it up. Let's see if we can get this bloody thing to work. Because before I was making this video, I did test it out. This pissed me off. I really hate this. Really China crap that never freaking works. It's so horrible. Mamma mia, fuck this shit. Alright, so we can still have the same freaking problem. It still like makes that weird like flickering thing. But I wanted to see this multi-game card, just see what happens. Okay, but can we switch between modes or... Okay, so the mode switching does work this time. We did have problems with the previous thing. The previous machine, but... Oh boy. So now I'm putting it on the widescreen. It seems to be working just fine. Can I like freaking move or what? Oh, there we go. So, but unfortunate, it's still not perfect. So we have seen like we have switched HDMI cables, or I basically did it off camera to make it quickly. But the unfortunate thing is like, there is no freaking way of get this thing work perfectly. Now it's going to start like flickering again. But the weird thing is like, if you're going to unplug it. Oh, jeez. But Super Mario Kart is not working at all. The funny thing is like I did play it a little bit before making this video, but when I started recording it just like did the same shit all over again. Like this. Now it seems actually working again. So it's like some random thing going on. It's a little bit of a bummer. So I don't know what you think of this, but if you have something like this of a product, it's going to be absolutely like garbage. Like one time it does work, another one it doesn't work at all and it's just stopped freezing. I tried multiple games. There we go. It flickers again. Alright, let's go. Resolution. And there it freezes again. Alright. I'm done with this. Another thing I wanted to try out if the old school connection works, but it seems to be this works just fine. Oh, there's also no, like say, aspect ratio option that only works for the HDMI. Kind of fun fact, if you're going to plug in the HDMI cable, it doesn't give any display, so we need to switch back to the HDMI. For you guys, just wanted to check it out. There we go. Let's see if it's going to be any giving display. Yeah, still gives display. But it will have like the same problem. Okay, so let's see. So basically what it does, so far I understand, is like a kind of an upscaler that's inside it. But it does have like struggles getting it actually to get a stable like 4:3 aspect ratio. There's just something wrong with the freaking annoying upscaler in the inside. There we go. But the weird thing is that we're going to like put it in widescreen mode. Then basically we're not going to get the flickering issue. It's only when we're putting it into 4:3. So that's it. The conclusion is that we still have the same problem like we did before. Or as I said, like it's less of a problem now. Oh boy. So it's just the fact that this thing is absolutely garbage. There's nothing else to say about it. A little bit of a bummer that HDMI functionality still doesn't work. So we have tried different monitors, different cables, power supplies, you name it, different games. Nothing seems to get this thing like work better. We still have like some issues. It's less horrible than the previous one, but it doesn't work perfectly. Thanks for watching, guys. It would be great to see you next video. And it would be great if you subscribe and hit that little bell.